MMA Rants and Raves, UFC on versus Yushin Okami versus Muñoz. Guys, before I get started, great to see the best ref in the biz, Big John McCarthy, back in the UFC cage. Okay guys, let's talk about this fight. First round, you basically saw Okami being the aggressor as far as the striking. To Muñoz, you saw backpedaling. Couldn't seem he can deal with Okami's reach and get anything going with the striking, but they were doing a lot of dancing around. And then, of course, the story of the first round and much throughout the fight was Munoz trying to get a takedown. Couldn't get anything going, couldn't get Okami down. Very good sprawls, very good takedown defense. So the first round you basically, although very close, have to give to Okami because of the fact he was the aggressor and those takedown defenses were really good and the takedowns weren't getting anywhere. Second round, you saw much of the same towards the beginning, but towards later on in the round, wow. Munoz just drops Okami with a brutal left, decks him to the ground, he gets on top. You see Okami getting up right away, and he's able to actually be the guy who reverses on the bottom. But as soon as he gets up, on his way up, Munoz hits him again, then attacks. Looked like Okami was in serious trouble, but he was able to really regain his composure, and then the fight started to go at the regular pace where you just saw Munoz going for takedowns and Okami trying to strike. As far as the third round, you saw much of the same. Munoz going for takedowns, but Okami was getting smart. He said, look, if I sprawl, I'm going to be on top of this guy and just hit him from the top. Of course, he was doing some strikes to the head, but then he refrained and just continued to assault Munoz as he was sprawling. So you basically saw Okami coming up with a good game plan because he saw that Munoz didn't have a chance to take him down, and he really couldn't throughout the fight. And that was really the story of the fight. What's really interesting is that he had a fight with Chael Sonnen a while back. Chael Sonnen, known for his very strong personality, Okami was able to connect with this guy. Talk about strange bedfellows. You have a guy who's usually the enemy in the same division. Okami's a talented guy who's going to move on his way up, and he actually asked his former opponent for help, and he was willing to help him. They became good friends, training partners. The point I'm making is that all that we saw from Okami is what he learned from Sonnen and his coach Lindland. I mean, you could just see it. That was classic textbook takedown defense. He was able to do really good sprawls, able to read his opponent, know when he's going for takedowns, and he just wasn't even close. He was getting sprawls, holding the head down. And when he didn't go for the body, he went for leg locks. You saw Okami just getting out of it, lifting his leg up, kicking out of it, running away. And many times he made him pay for those takedowns. He was able to hit him on his way down. So it was really a good game plan. You saw Okami learning a lot of things, and it really showed. It was interesting how he went about on his takedown defenses, and that's what really made a difference in the fight, with Okami being victorious. Now, I wanted to make another point. If you think about it, if you look at the UFC history and all their fights, you really haven't seen many Japanese mixed martial artists and Asian mixed martial artists coming out of Japan being successful in the UFC. And this is the first guy who's doing some damage. And it's been difficult, going from different rules. They don't like the cage over there in Japan. They're using the ring. The size of the actual ring is different. There's different rules, so they're coming here and they have to adjust. And here you have a guy who's actually looks like he's adjusting. So, I mean, you might have a guy who's starting to move him in the ranks, and maybe he might do some damage. I would like to know what you think about Okami, about his future, and if Japanese mixed martial arts is just finally trying to break through into U.S. cage fighting and other cage fighting. I'd like to know your opinion. Please leave your comments below the video, rate this video, and subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.